Hello everyone, you are watching Naresh IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now I am going to explain or discuss complete modern Indian history in English medium in a brief through a single video. Such efforts we have already made regarding the ancient Indian history, where we have discussed the complete ancient Indian history in Hindi and English both medium. So you may take help. This is the first topic in modern Indian history, the advent of European company. Advent of European company. After the 15th century, so many European company arrived in India and they started trade and commerce, and through which India was made their colony, and finally India was under the British rule for the last 190 years. Through the Indian map, we will locate some important trading centers of these companies and information. Europeans first started to rest of the world, as this was the first European company, Portuguese company. The company from the Portugal country. The Portuguese were the first person who arrived in India in the 15th century and who connected India through the European continent by the sea route. Portuguese ruler sent Vasco da Gama first in India to discover or sought information, and finally Vasco da Gama reached in India 1498. Vasco da Gama, by the help of Gujarati advisor Abdul Malik, reached at the Calicut. Calicut now in Kerala and is called Kozhikode district of Kerala, where Vasco da Gama met with the Jamorin, ruler of Calicut. Basically Jamorin was a title, and this was the Hindu ruler Manu Vikramaditya, and who granted permission to Vasco da Gama for trade commerce, and Gama started first trade commerce from the Calicut. Vasco da Gama second time arrived in India 1502 and who established the next trading center in Cochin, Kerala, and third time Vasco da Gama arrived in 1524, and this time he was appointed a Portuguese governor for some time in India. After the discovery and invention of Vasco da Gama about the India, it insisted the Portuguese government, ruler and the Portuguese company. That's why the first Portuguese governor was appointed in India. This was the Francis de Almeida. Francis de Almeida was the first Portuguese governor appointed in India and who worked during 1505 to 1509. After arriving in India, who made monopoly over the ocean or the sea route and who declared the blue water policy in Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean, through which no Indian ruler were allowed to trade commerce without the permission of Portuguese. And the second Portuguese governor was the Alfonso da Albuquerque. During 1509 to 1515. Albuquerque made two kinds of effort. First, who acquired the Goa from the Bijapur state. Before the Goa, Cochin in Kerala was the first capital of Portuguese in India, and after the 1530, Goa became the capital of their empire, and it was lasted till the 1961. And Albuquerque also insisted the Portuguese peoples to marry with the Indian women so that the Portuguese empire could be established in India. After the Albuquerque, so many Portuguese governors were appointed and they continued their trade commerce. Finally, Portuguese enlarged their empire beyond the Goa in Bombay, Dadra Nagar Haveli and Daman Deep. And what was the contribution of Portuguese in India? First, Portuguese introduced printing press in the 16th century. In 1556, they established India's first printing press in Goa, where the Bible was printed and it was distributed to the Indians to preach the Christianity. And second contribution, Portuguese made the black pepper a global brand. And third was Portuguese introduced a species of red chilies or the red pepper, the capsicum species in India, and they started the commercial cultivation of tobacco, and Portuguese were the first who started construction of church. So, the most ancient church was found at the western coast or in South India. Definitely they were built by the Portuguese. And after the independence of India in 1947, Government of India pressurized the Portuguese company to cede Goa, Dadra Nagar Haveli and Daman Deep. These were the colonies of Portuguese. Finally, Portuguese surrendered and in 1961 they ceded Goa and Daman Deep to Government of India, and then Government of India declared Goa as the Union Territories in 1961, and finally in 1987 Goa was declared the 25th states of India. After the Portuguese, this was the second company from Europe, the British East India Company from the England, British East India Company. British East India Company founded or established in 1600, and there were more than 200 shareholders or investors in the company, and it also said British Crown Elizabeth Taylor first, she was the crown that time and given around 2.5% shareholdership in the company. British Crown allowed the East India Company initially for 15 years trade commerce with India, and later on the charter of East India Company was improved or granted for the forever. East India Company first sent an ambassador as William Hawkins. This was the William Hawkins first arrived as the ambassador of British Crown or the company. William Hawkins in 1608 and to return in India from the 1611. William Hawkins met with the Mughal Emperor Jahangir at capital Agra. There was a meeting between Jahangir and Hawkins in Agra, and after the meeting Mughal Emperor Jahangir granted permission, and in 1612 East India Company established their first trading center in India, Surat. This was the Surat, now in Gujarat, and in 1613 it was officially declared their first trading post. William Hawkins was granted 400 categories of mansab by the Jahangir. After the William Hawkins, the second ambassador sent by the British monarch, this was the Thomas Roe. Thomas Roe in 1615, and who returned India from the 1618. Thomas Roe also met with Mughal Emperor Jahangir at Ajmer, and where he sought permission to enlarge their empire in throughout the India. And after that, the East India Company marched toward the eastern coast, and where at the Golconda coast in 1632, from the local ruler of Golconda, company granted permission for trade commerce from all the seaport of the Golconda state by paying 500 pagoda as a annual tribute or the annual amount. In 1639, this was the British official Francis Day who established the Madras. Madras was established by Francis Day and he is called father and founder of Madras. And in 1661, when the Portuguese married their princess Catherine Braganza with the son of British crown, and the Bombay port, which was under the Portuguese, given as dowry, and finally the British crown granted the Bombay port to the East India Company, and in the end of 17th century, Job Charnock was sent as the important agent of company to expand the empire in eastern India. Job Charnock purchased 3 villages during the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, Govindpura, Sultanati and Kalikata, and Job Charnock merged these villages and founded the Kolkata. The Job Charnock is called the founder and father of Kolkata later on, where in 1696 to 1702 Fort William was built. Gradually, East India Company enlarged their empire from the western coast to eastern coast and the interior part of the India. Next, this was the French East India Company from the France. French Company established in 1664 by the Colbert, and French Company sought permission from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb granted permission to French Company in 1668, and they established their first trading post in India at the Surat. And after that, French Company established so many colonies in India, and this was the Pondicherry, now the Union Territory in south of Madras. The Pondicherry was the main center of French Company in India. Pondicherry includes the Karikal, Yenam in Andhra Pradesh and Mahe in Kerala. There are the 4 districts including the Pondicherry headquarters. The Pondicherry was the colony of the French, and there was a Danish company too. Danish company established in 1616. Danish company established few trading centers in India. One was near the Madras Tranquebar, and second was in West Bengal Serampur. But later on, company sold these centers to the British East India Company, and there was another company, Dutch East India Company. Dutch East India Company was founded in 1602. Dutch initially interested outside India in the Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and later on they entered in India through the eastern coast and established their important centers at the Masulipattnam, now in Andhra Pradesh, and this was the Chinsura, important centers of Dutch in the West Bengal. Finally, when the Dupleix became governor of French Company during the 1740 to 1754, who was ambitious person, and due to this French Company had to fight battle against the East India Company. The mainly French presented a great challenge or threat to East India Company, and these battles are called in Indian history the Anglo-French War, also called the Carnatic Wars. Carnatic Wars. The first Carnatic War 1744 to 1748, second Carnatic War 1749 to 1754, and the third Carnatic War 1756 to 1763. Finally, East India Company defeated the French Company, and through the Treaty of Paris in 1763, the military or admin activities of French company were restricted and East India Company acquired all the territories, but through the treaty only the Pondicherry including other district and Chandranagar in West Bengal, they were returned to French company and were not allowed to fortified to continue their military activities. And finally, after the Carnatic Wars, East India Company became the sole political military power in India, and now company target to the Indian political powers. The next topic is the Indian states. What was the political position of Indian states in the modern phase? There were the important states in India. This was the Bengal, first, second the Mysore state, and third the Punjab state, because these states were defeated by the East India Company and they were the great challenge to the company. That is why company had to fight against these states, and after conquering these states, East India Company established their English empire into India and India became a British colony. So we have to learn about these states. Bengal, initially Bengal was a province or Suba of the Mughal empire, but after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the Bengal declared itself as the independent states and they denied to accept the suzerainty of Mughals. And finally, in 1717, this was the Murshid Quli Khan who declared himself as the independent Nawab, Murshid Quli Khan in 1717, and who made capital Murshidabad now in West Bengal. After the Murshid Quli Khan, there was a tradition of Nawabship in Bengal, and this was the Nawab Siraj, also called the Sirajud-Dowla, during 1756 to 1757. Sirajud-Dowla implemented the strict rule against the English East India Company, because the East India Company granted so many privilege or rights in Bengal province when the Bengal was a Mughal province, but now Bengal is a independent states. That is why Siraj did not renew these rights to the company, because these rights were totally against the Bengal states and the Hindu Muslim traders. East India Company denied or refused to follow the orders of Siraj. That is why Siraj prescribed the Fort William center of East India Company, and this was resulted into a black hole tragedy. The black hole tragedy, an important event in the Indian history. Black hole tragedy on 20th June 1756, where Sirajud-Dowla imprisoned some hundreds of British peoples in a single room, and next day most of them died, and it is called the black hole tragedy in the Indian history. That is why East India Company declared war against the Sirajud-Dowla, and now they tried to revenge against him, and this was resulted into the Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey, an important landmark in Indian history, took place on 1757. In this battle, East India Company was led by Robert Clive, and this was the Nawab Sirajud-Dowla. Mostly Robert Clive favored all the officials of Siraj by giving the bribe, but Siraj was not aware about that, and company finally conquered the battle, won the battle, and this was declared a political deceit of British. How the British won the war, and it has become an important debate in the Indian history. After the Battle of Plassey, now East India Company became the kingmaker, and now company started to appoint Nawab and to replace them. The company appointed after the Siraj the new Nawab of Bengal, Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar continued 1757 to 1760, and then Mir Jafar was replaced, and then Mir Qasim was appointed during 1762 1763, and the Mir Qasim was also replaced, and again Mir Jafar was appointed in 1763, the next Nawab. And this was the Battle of Buxar. Plassey now in West Bengal, of Buxar now in Bihar near the Patna. Battle of Buxar was fought between the East India Company. Company was led by the Hector Munro, and on the other side there was a group of the three rulers. One was the deposed Nawab of Bengal Mir Qasim, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, and Nawab of Awadh Shujauddaulah, and all but defeated by the East India Company. And finally, company made Treaty of Allahabad in 1765. The Treaty of Allahabad first with the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, and Treaty of Allahabad second with the Nawab of Awadh Shujauddaulah, and through which now Robert Clive started the diarchy rule in Bengal first. After the victory of Plassey in 1757, Robert Clive was made first governor of Bengal by the East India Company. And this was the next state, Mysore. Mysore now is a district of Karnataka, but that time it was a kingdom. Mysore, where there was a Hindu ruler under the Vodiyar dynasty, but in 1761 the Vodiyar dynasty was replaced by the Hyder Ali. So Hyder Ali initially joined the Mysore army, and through their great ambitious who replaced the Vodiyar dynasty and declared himself as the Sultan of Mysore. Hyder Ali continued as a Sultan of Mysore during 1761 to 1782, and this was the Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan, the son of Hyder Ali, and continue 1780 to 1799. Tipu Sultan made Srirangpatnam as his capital, and finally Mysore state had to fight the 4 battles against the East India Company. East India Company initially in the 2 battles defeated the Hyder Ali. The first Anglo-Mysore War 1766 to 1769, second Anglo-Mysore War 1780-84, and during the 82 Hyder Ali was badly injured and he died, and the battle was continued by the Tipu Sultan. The third battle 1790 to 92, where the East India Company defeated Tipu Sultan. For the fourth Anglo-Mysore War 1799, East India Company finally defeated Tipu Sultan and murdered him and acquired the Mysore state, and it was merged into the Madras Presidency. And the third state was the Punjab. Punjab was united initially first by the Sikh Guru. There were 10th Gurus, from Guru Nanak, founder of Sikhism, to the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. Then Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So this was the Ranjit Singh, who organized politically Punjab as a state, and Ranjit Singh's reign was 1780 to 1839. Ranjit Singh made Lahore as his capital. So this was the Lahore, the capital of Ranjit Singh, and this was the Mysore states defeated by the British government. Ranjit Singh initially denied to provide a passage from the Punjab province for the East India Company's army, and company made pressure, and this was the Treaty of Amritsar 1809, through which the geographical boundary of Sikh Empire or East India Company was drawn, and Satluj River was made a landmark. And in 1839 there was a triple alliance or triple treaty, including the East India Company, ruler of Afghanistan Shah Shuja and Ranjit Singh, and through which East India Company first given permission from the Punjab states. The company can lead the Punjab states and they can pass their army to reach the Central Asia. After the Ranjit Singh, his successors were very big, and this was the Queen Jhindan, and he started rule as a regent of his son Dilip Singh. And finally Ranjit Singh's son had to fight with the East India Company, and these battles are called Anglo-Sikh War. The first Anglo-Sikh War 1844 to 46, East India Company defeated the Sikh army, and through the Treaty of Lahore, company acquired so many rights. The second Anglo-Sikh War 1848 to 1849, and through which the Lord Dalhousie, that time Governor General of India, decided to merge the Punjab state into British Empire, and on the 30 March 1849 Punjab was merged under the British Empire under the doctrine of lapse, and through which Punjab was replaced as a British province. And there were some other states. This was the Karnataka state founded by the Sadutullah Khan, and this was the Awadh state founded by the Saadat Ali Khan. And East India Company mainly defeated these states and made these states as their subordinate. Now the next topic is British policies. After conquering most of Indian territories, the British government started to execute their policies, and we will discuss here the topic in this way: the company rule and the crown rule. Because initially the East India Company ruled over India during 1757 to 1858, and after this East India Company was ended from India, and British Crown took the Indian rule in her hand. This was the Crown rule, ruled by the British Queen. Crown rule from the 1858 to till the independence 1947. And the first thing, complete or the entire India was not under the British rule. Only the 63% of Indian geography territory was under the British rule, and remaining 37% territory of India was under the princely states. So you must know this fact. Initially East India Company executed so many policies, and the main target or objectives of these policies were how to acquire maximum revenue from India to strengthening the British Empire. In the company rule, East India Company started the first agriculture policy. They introduced three kinds of land tenure system: the zamindari system, also called the permanent settlement in the Bengal province. Zamindari system or the permanent settlement in Bengal province. In 1793, this was the Lord Cornwallis, the founder of this settlement in 1793, where the zamindar were made the owner of their lands, then the peasants or farmers. Second, the Mahalwadi system. Mahal is a large geographical territories including more than one village, and the complete Mahal was responsible for paying the revenue to the government. Mahalwadi system was introduced in the central India by the Martin Ward and Holt Mackenzie. So this was the Mahalwadi system in central India, and third was the Rayatwadi system. The Rayatwadi system initially introduced in Madras, the Marabelle region 1792, and 1820 the Thomas Munro, governor of Madras, implemented throughout the Madras, and in the Bombay presidency 1820 the governor of Bombay, William Elphinstone, implemented this. So, Zamindari was implemented around 19% of total British Empire, Malbari on the about 30% of British Empire, Rayatwadi at the largest area around the 51%, right. So, these questions are asked. Second, the British industrial policy. East India Company started some investment in the industrial sector. First they started in India the banks. Company first made the Presidency banks. The Presidency Bank of Bengal or Bank of Calcutta was the first bank established in 1806. India's first bank. This was called the Presidency Bank. Second bank was the Bank of Bombay, the Presidency Bank in 1840, and third was the Presidency Bank of Madras 1843, and in 1921 these Presidencies Bank were upgraded as the Imperial Banks, and in 1955 the Imperial Banks were called the State Bank of India. Second, the railway. You must know the first proposal for the railway were introduced about the Madras province. The Madras was the first province where the railway proposals were accepted in 1832, and this was the first transport railway started in Madras 1836 to 1837, and the first passenger train during the Lord Dalhousie in 1853 between the Bombay to Thane for the 34 kilometers, and later on the first cotton mill in 1854 Mumbai, first jute mill 1855 Calcutta, the Risra local place in Calcutta 1870 Kulti, the West Bengal, first the coal mines. So many industries East India Company started in India. And the education policy of East India Company, this was great challenging because company wanted to educate only those Indians could service in the company's office. That's why the English were targeted. The Indians were taught in English, and through the English they were taught the European or the English systems, and this is called the Macaulay system. Finally, when the East India Company made the Charleswood Commission in 1854, the commission recommended to establish in India modern universities on the pattern of London University. So, during the 1857, the universities were started in India. First university Calcutta 1857, second Bombay, or third was the Madras. However, in the educational efforts, this was the Warren Hastings, first Governor General of Bengal, 1781 established the Calcutta Madrasa at Calcutta, and William Jones in 1784 founded the Asiatic Society in Calcutta, and from where the educational efforts were started. Next, the newspaper policy. First printing press in India introduced by the Portuguese, we have already discussed. Second printing press by the British East India Company, and the first newspaper published by any European, this was the British James Augustus Hickey in 1780, 1780 में India's first newspaper with the name of Bengal Gazette published in English from the Kolkata, and the first Indian was the Gadadhar Bhattacharya, who published the first newspaper again in English with the same title, the Bengal Gazette, from Calcutta during the 1816, and the first Bengali newspaper published by the Rajaram Mohan Roy In 1821, the Banga Sambad comedy, which is also called the Chandrika. So Rajaram Mohan Roy is called the pioneer of press in India, father and founder of press in India, and also the father of modern Indian history. And so many Indians started the publication of newspaper. Bal Gangadhar Tilak from the Maharashtra published two newspaper, Maratha in English, Kesari in Marathi language. Mahatma Gandhi published so many newspaper pamphlet like the Indian Opinion, Harijan, Navjivan, Young India. And the British and the Rajaram Mohan Roy also published the first Persian newspaper, Miratul Akhbar, 1822, from the Kolkata, the Mirror of News. And India's first Hindi newspaper, published in 1826 from Kolkata by the Jugal Kishore Chaturvedi, and this was the Udant Martand. Udant Martand, the India's first Hindi newspaper, right? This was the newspaper policy. And in India, the first court judiciary was started by the Warren Hastings. The Warren Hastings first made the district courts, and Cornwallis was the first Governor General who introduced the office of district collector, office of superintendent of police, एसपी का पद और जिला कलेक्टर का पद लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस ने भारत में स्टार्ट किया था. तो इस तरीके से इंडिया में इन्होंने अपनी पॉलिसीज को स्टार्ट किया. आफ्टर द रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 दीज पॉलिसीज वर विथ सम मॉडिफिकेशन और चेंजेस कंटिन्यू टिल द इंडिपेंडेंस. The British Crown continued these policies and they made some changes according to the expectations of Indians. However, the main aims was continued to exploit the Indian at the large. So these were the policies. Now, what were the consequences of these policies? So there were the two kinds of consequences of these policies. First, the revolt of 1857. The revolt of 1857, the first consequence, or second, the Renaissance or socio-religious reforms in India. Socio-religious reforms in India. Through the Indian map, we will locate some important centers. This is the Indian map. Revolt of 1857, some important facts we must know. It was outbreak during the Lord Canning. That time Lord Canning was the Governor General of India. Important question. Second, that time this was the Bahadur Shah II Jafar was. Bahadur Shah II, also called the Jafar, the Mughal emperor, and who was guided by the Nana Sahab and his commander Tatya Tope. The date of commence of revolt was 10th May 1857, and there were multiple factors of the revolt. Chapati and lotus was the symbol of the revolt. The British government introduced so many policies, and this was one of the subsidiary alliance system, subsidiary alliance treaty, Sahik Sandhi Pratha, introduced by the Lord Wellesley during the 1798 to 1805, and this was the first state, Hyderabad, who adopted the subsidiary treaty in 1798, and Lord Dalhousie introduced doctrine of lapse, राज्यों के हड़पने का सिद्धांत, and through which Satara in Maharashtra was the first state who, the Lord Dalhousie, who lapsed the Satara first in 1848, and this was the Hyderabad who adopted the subsidiary alliance treaty in 1798 first. These questions are generally asked in the different exams, and these policies made the Indians disappoint at the large scale. Finally, the East India Company introduced the experiment of Enfield rifle in place of the old brown base rifle. An Enfield rifle first given to the Barakpur, West Bengal Army station for testing. This was the Mangal Pandey who denied to testing, and finally Mangal Pandey was pressured, and in return who murdered the two English officers, Colonel Waugh and Anderson, and Mangal Pandey was arrested and finally hanged. Then the revolt was started before the 10th May 1857. There were important centers of the revolt. Delhi center, it was led by the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II Jafar, and Jafar was arrested from the tomb of Humayun in Delhi, and against Jafar the judicial trials were started from the Red Fort of Delhi, and Jafar was deported from India with his family, and where he died. Begum Hazrat Mahal and his son Birjis Qadir led the revolt at Lucknow and Faizabad. Finally, they were defeated and fled away to Nepal. Nana Sahib, who assisted the Bahadur Shah II Jafar and his commander Tatya Tope, assisted Begum Hazrat Mahal and Rani Lakshmibai at Jhansi. Finally, Nana Sahib fled away to Nepal and Tatya Tope was hanged. And in Bihar, this was the Kunwar Singh who led the revolt in Bihar, the Ara region, and Maulvi Ahmadullah, important protester at the Faizabad district, Uttar Pradesh. British government declared some amount for arresting or giving information about the Maulvi Ahmadullah, which is about the 50,000 rupees. Rab Tularam was the important leader in Haryana, Maniram Dutt in Assam, and so many leaders. Most of the territory of South India was not the part of the revolt. So these were the important center, and Bareilly led by the Bakht Khan, the commander of Mughal Emperor, and Liaquat Ali Khan at the Allahabad. Finally, the Indians were defeated in the revolt, and East India Company was made responsible for the revolt, and company was ended. The second influence of the British policies was सोशियो-रिलीजियस रिफॉर्म्स. इंडिया में अब सामाजिक धार्मिक सुधार आरंभ हुए. इंडियंस नाउ रियलाइज इफ वी वांट टू काउंटर द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट, डेफिनेटली वी हैव टू गिवन अप अवर सोशियो-रिलीजियस evils and we have to modernize ourselves. There were so many efforts. This was the Rajaram Mohan Roy, pioneer person of the socio-religious reforms, and he is called bridge between the east and the west. Rajaram Mohan Roy founded the Brahm Samaj at Kolkata, the Brahm Society. Earlier it was called the Brahm Sabha. Brahm Samaj, 1828, Kolkata. And Rajaram Mohan Roy requested to William Bentinck, that time Governor General, to pass a regulation to restrict the Sati Practice Act. Then 1829, by the effort of Rajaram Mohan Roy, British government banned the Sati practice. 1833, Rajaram Mohan Roy was died. Before his death, Ram Mohan Roy was given title of Raja by the second last Mughal Emperor Akbar II. Rajaram Mohan Roy also established a Vedant college in Kolkata 1825. After the Rajaram Mohan Roy, Brahm Samaj was led by Dwarkanath Tagore, Debendranath Tagore and the Keshav Chandra Sen. During the Keshav Chandra Sen, Brahm Samaj was divided into two factions. One was the Adi Brahm Samaj, the earlier Brahm Samaj, or the Brahm Samaj of India. The first split 1865 on the question of reformation and the enlargement of the theories of Brahm Samaj. The second split again in the Brahm Samaj in 1878. Now Anand Mohan Bose, the disciple of Keshav Chandra Sen, who established the Sadharan Brahm Samaj. Brahm Samaj was continue under the different faction or branches. The second important organization was the Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj founded by Dayanand Saraswati in 1875 Mumbai. Later on the headquarter was shifted at Lahore then Delhi. Arya Samaj was established Dayanand Saraswati and he invoked or shouted a slogan return to Vedas. Dayanand Saraswati wrote a book Satyarth Prakash in 1875. Arya Samaj later on divided into the two branches. This was the Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission founded by Swami Vivekananda in 1897 Belur, Kolkata, through which Vivekananda spread the philosophical principles of Ramakrishna Paramhans, his guru. And Vivekananda wrote a book, I am Socialist, मैं समाजवादी हूँ, and book from Colombo to Almoda. This was the second book of Vivekananda, and Vivekananda speech at Chicago 1893. His birth name was Narendranath Dutt. Khetri Maharaj, Maharaj of Khetri in Rajasthan, named Vivekananda, and with the help of Khetri Maharaj, Vivekananda visited the USA. And this was the next Theosophical Society. Theosophical Society basically founded in New York 1875 by the Colonel Olcott and Madame Blavatsky. Its branch was founded in India at the Adyar city of Madras. This was the Adyar at Madras, and where Annie Besant was sent as the promoter. Annie Besant started this branch in India 1882. Annie Besant later on founded the Central Hindu College of Banaras in 1898, and with the help of Madan Mohan Malviya, the college was promoted as the Banaras Hindu University later on. The next was the Young Bengal movement. Young Bengal movement started by the Scottish reformer Henry Vivian Delaggio in 1826 to 1831, where he targeted the young Indians for the reformation of society. And next was the prayer society, also called the Prarthana Samaj. Prarthana Samaj established 1867 in Mumbai by the Atmaram Pandurang, R.G. Bhandarkar, Govind Mahadev Ranade. It was a branch of Brahm Samaj. This was the Aligarh movement. Aligarh movement started by the Sayyid Ahmad Khan in 1875 from the Aligarh district of Uttar Pradesh for the reformation of Muslim society. Initially he started Anglo-Mohammedan Oriental School. This was promoted in college and became the Aligarh Muslim University later on. And this was the next Servants of India Society. Servants of India Society founded by the Gopal Krishna Gokhale at Pune in 1905, and for the reformation of depressed class, Govindrav Jyotiba Phule established Truth Seeker Society, also called the Satya Sodhak Samaj in 1873 Pune, and who wrote Gulamgiri, a book through which who criticized the practices of upper castes. So these were some important efforts made by the Indians for reformation. Radha Swami Satsang are important efforts in this direction, and this organization was founded by Shiv Dayal Sahib Tulsi Ram at Agra in 1861. And British government made so many progressive laws or legislation with the help of Indian. For example, in 1829 the Prohibition of Sati Practice Act, 1833 slavery was declared invalid, 1856 by the Lord Canning Widow Remarriage Act was passed 1856, and 1872 the Civil Marriage Act 1872, through which child marriage were restricted, and finally 1930 Sarda Act, through which the marriage of boys and girls was announced 14 to 18 years. So these were some important efforts. The next is Now the next topic is the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress. Important questions through the Congress and through the Indian map. We will understand some information about the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress was founded in December 1885. Alan Octavian Hume. Hume was the founder or father of Indian National Congress. Hume was the retired ICS officer, and that time this was the Lord Dufferin, Governor General of India, and Hume became the first General Secretary of Congress during 1885 to 1905, and Dadabhai Naoroji, a leader of Congress, who suggested this name, and Congress term had been taken from the American Constitution, where the American Parliament is called the Congress. Congress was founded in Mumbai 1885. The first session of Congress was declared in Pune, but there was a bubonic plague disease. Due to the first session of Congress was organized in Mumbai, and this was presided over by the W.C. Banerjee. So, W.C. Banerjee was the first president of Congress in 1885 in the Mumbai session. Later on, the second session was held at Kolkata, and this was presided over by the Dadabhai Naoroji, and he was the first Parsi president of the Congress, Kolkata. And the third session was held at the Madras, and where the Badruddin Tayyabji became the president, and he was the first Muslim leaders. And the fourth session was held at the Allahabad, and this was the George Yule, a British official who became the first Christian or English president of the Congress, and there were only 4 English men who became the president: George Yule, William Wedderburn, Henry Cotton, and Alfred Babe. And the women president of Indian National Congress, the women president, this question also was, the first women president was the Annie Besant in 1917, the Kolkata session. But Annie Besant was the Irish woman, so she was not Indian, and this was the first Indian woman became the president of Indian National Congress, Sarojini Naidu, in 1925 at Kanpur, and the third Indian woman was the Nalini Sen Gupta, became the president in 1933 at the Kolkata session. And the maximum times, 3 times, Jawaharlal Nehru and Dadabhai Naoroji continued as the president. Subhash Chandra Bose became the president of Congress in 1938, Haripura session Gujarat, or Tripuri session in 1939, Madhya Pradesh. And Mahatma Gandhi became only once the president of Congress in 1924 at the Belgaum session, Karnataka. Mahatma Gandhi became only once the president. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was the important leader who did not became the president of Congress, and this was the Congress session in 1896, Calcutta session, where the India's national song Bande Mataram, which was written by Bankim Chand Chatterjee, and it was first sung or adopted by the Congress in 1896, and this was the again the Kolkata session of Congress in 1911, where the national anthem Jan Gad Man, which was written by Rabindranath Tagore, first sung or adopted by the Congress. And this was the Congress session of Ramgarh in Bihar, was the longest session of Congress during the 1940 1960, 6 साल तक सबसे लंबा सेशन रहा, and it was chaired by the Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the youngest president of Congress, and Dadabhai Naoroji was the oldest president of Congress. Then these are some important questions from the Congress you must know. The next is the revolutionary movement in India. revolutionary movement in India. When the leadership of Congress was failed to acquire or ensure the rights of Indians, then aggressive ideology in the form of revolutionary emerged in India. This was led by the different leaders. The first incident in India, which is called the revolutionary incident in 1897, where the Chapekar brothers, Bal Krishna Chapekar and the Damodar Chapekar, killed the plague commissioner Rand and Ayers. Shyamji Krishna Verma is called the father of revolutionary, while Madam Bhikaji Kama is called the mother of revolutionaries. Indians made so many revolutionary organizations. The first important organization was the Abhinav Bharat, New India. Abhinav Bharat, founded in 1904 in Mumbai, and it was founded by the B.D. Savarkar, his brother Ganesh Savarkar, and allies Anand Lakshman Karkare. The organization targeted district magistrate of Nasik, Mr. Jackson. In 1909, Jackson was murdered by the organization. This is called the Nasik murder case or the Jackson conspiracy case. The next organization was the Anusheenan Samiti of Discipline, first founded in 1902 by the Pulindas in Dhaka, now capital of Bangladesh, and again in 1906 Kolkata by the Barindra Kumar Ghosh and Bhupendranath Dutt. The organization targeted Kingsford, the district magistrate of Muzaffarpur district, the district of Bihar. In 1908, the Anusheenan Samiti targeted the officer, and in this case Khudiram Bose and Prafull Chaki were arrested. Prafull Chaki committed suicide and Khudiram Bose was hanged later on, and before the 19 years he was hanged. And the next organization was the Ghadar Party. You know, Ghadar Party initially founded in 1912 with the name of Hind Association of America, outside India, America, and in 1930s was given the name Ghadar Party 1913 at the San Francisco city of USA. So Ghadar Party made so many efforts in India, and this was the next organization, HRA, Hindustan Republican Association, founded in 1924 Kanpur by the Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad and Ram Prasad Bismil, and this organization led the Kakori train robbery. Kakori is a station near Lucknow, and in 1925 a train, the 8 Down Express, was looted by the HRA revolutionaries, and in this case British government granted capital punishment to Ashfaq Ullah Khan, Roshan Singh, Rajendra Lahidi and Ram Prasad Bismil, and Sachindra Sanyal was given lifetime imprisonment, and he was sent to the cellular jail, which is called the Kala Pani in Andaman. Next organization was the HSRA, Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, in 1928 founded by Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad at the Firozshah Kotla in Delhi, and this organization committed the John Sanders, and John Sanders was murdered in 1928. This is called the Saunders murder case or the Lahore conspiracy case. Later on, Bhagat Singh with his allies, Sukhdev Bhagat Singh with his allies Batukeshwar Dutt lead the Delhi Assembly bomb case 1929, 8th April 1929, the Delhi Assembly bomb case. Finally, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru made responsible for the Saunders murder case, and in this case they were hanged on 23 March 1931. Chandrasekhar Azad was died during the February month 1931 with a British officials a raid in the Alfred Park of the Allahabad in 1931 before the hanging of Bhagat Singh. And in 1930 there was a important revolutionary organization IRA, Indian Republican Army, founded by Surya Sen in Calcutta in 1930. Surya Sen, also called the Master Da. This was the only organization joined by the girls and the women like the Kalpana Datta, Preeti Lada Badika, Suniti Chaudhary, Shanti Ghosh. And this organization made the Chatgaon Armory case 1930. Finally, Surya Sen was hanged in 1934 and organization was seized. So these were some important revolutionary movement in India. See the next part, freedom struggle, or also called the national movement of India. The freedom struggle and the national movement led by the Indian National Congress. The first phase of Indian National Congress is called the liberal politics, liberal or moderate politics. Phase 1, in which most of leaders were the Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Govind Mahadev Ranade, Purusha Mehta. They demanded British government the administrative reforms, economic reforms, and to make Indian more participant in the administration. The moderate politics continue 1885 to 1905, where the only few demands of Indians were accepted by the British government. Then Congress was led by the extremist or also called the Garmpanthi leader during the 1905 to 1919. They first demanded the Swaraj, and then the contemporary Governor General of Lord Curzon partitioned the Bengal. The Bengal partition by the Lord Curzon 1905, through which Lord Curzon tried to make conflict between the Hindu and Muslim by the partition, because most of the leaders that time belonged to the Bengal province, and this was the strategy of Lord Curzon to divide Bengal into the Muslim led western part, eastern part, and the Hindu led the western part. So against the partition of Bengal, now the extremist leader Lal Bal Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, Bal Gangadhar Tilak launched the Swadeshi movement in 1905. That time the session of Congress was held in 1906 Kolkata, which was presided over by the Dadabhai Naoroji, where the resolution of Swadeshi, Swaraj, boycott and national education were passed. The Swadeshi movement was mainly targeted the boycott of British system, British things, but it was failed, and British government arrested most of the extremist leader. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was imprisoned for the next 8 years outside of India and Mandalay, Myanmar, and all the leaders were arrested and the movement was dispersed. At the same time, the British government introduced in India divide and rule policy, also called the DR policy, बांटो और राज करो की नीति, and through which British government founded the Muslim League. The Muslim League was founded in 1906 at Dhaka by the Nawab of Dhaka, Salimullah Khan, and this was the Bakarul Mulk Mushtaq Hussain, the inaugural president, and Aga Khan was appointed the permanent president of Muslim League. The Muslim League demanded the separate electoral college, which was given to the Muslims through the 1909 Morley Minto reforms, and in 1933 to 1935 this was the Rahmat Ali Chaudhry. Rahmat Ali Chaudhry, a Muslim student studying at the Cambridge University, London, who gave the term Pakistan first, and this include the P for Pakistan, A for Afghan, K for Kashmir, IS यानी SI Sindh और तान यानी Baluchistan. And later on in 1940 Muslim League was chaired by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, where the Lahore session, and in the Lahore session 1940 Muhammad Ali Jinnah gave the two nation theory, दो राष्ट्र का सिद्धांत. और next 1943 in the Karachi session Muslim League passed divide and quit theory, through which they presented the British government first divide India into India and Pakistan, and then they leave India. So this is the history of Muslim League. Later on, the First World War affected the Indian politics or the direction of freedom struggle, because the most of Indian leaders were interested to support the British government in the First World War, while some of the leaders did not want to support. In this background, there was an important incident, the Home Rule movement. Home Rule movement in 1916, led by Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Annie Besant. Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak both led the Home Rule movement, and they demanded Swaraj, through which Tilak founded the Home Rule League headquarter at Pune, Belgaum, and Annie Besant founded the headquarter of its Home Rule League at the Adyar city in Madras. The movement was quite successful. Tilak went to England to proceed a case against the Ballantyne's role, who declared Tilak as the unrest of and father of unrest in India. And later on Annie was arrested. Finally, British government released Annie Besant and assured to provide home rule in India, and it was given under the some circumstances through the 1919 Act. At the same time, this was the 1916 the Lucknow Pact. Lucknow Pact 1916, where the two important decisions were taken. First, Congress and Muslim League were again unites, because Muslim League leave the Congress after the foundation of Muslim League 1906, and the second decision was both the factions of Congress, moderate and extremists, again unite, because Bal Gangadhar Tilak was the lead from Mandalay jail, and he again joined the Indian National Congress. The next is this was the next incident. The British government now made the Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act 1919. Sidney Rowlatt was a British officer and who passed a resolution under a chairman of committee, and that's why it was named as a Rowlatt Act, through which Indians could be arrested anytime on the grounds of suspicion, and the act did not allow Indian for gathering. At the same time, the Indians mainly in the Punjab region, they were celebrating the Vaisakh festival, and through which they make a large gathering there, and this was the violation of this act. And at the same time, the lieutenant governor of the Punjab, Michael O'Dwyer, ordered to the General Dyer that time was the in charge of Amritsar district, and who ordered to firing without any early information, and so many people were died during the incident, and this is called in history the Jallianwala Bagh incident. The Jallianwala Bagh incident, 13th April 1919. This was the result of Rowlatt Act. Finally, British government made a investigation committee. This was the Hunter Committee, and it was concluded that both the officials were innocent. Later on, Gandhiji started Roller Satyagraha to withdraw the Rowlatt Act, but the Roller Satyagraha was failed. This was the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement in 1919, through which the Indian Musliman requested to British government to restore their Khalifa, the religious head, again in Turkish Empire, That's why the Muslim started this movement, but the movement was failed in 1920 because British government denied to restore the Khalifa, the office of Khalifa. And next, Gandhiji launched the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement started by Gandhi on 1st August 1920. A resolution was passed first in Calcutta session 1920, presided over by the Lala Lajpat Rai, and again the resolution was passed in Nagpur session of Congress, which was presided over by the B.R. Raghvachari. When the Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement, at the same time Bal Gangadhar Tilak was died, and after the 2 years when the movement was successfully proceeding, there was a Chauri Chaura incident. Chauri Chaura incident in 5th February 1922, where the protester set fire in a police station and 22 policemen were died, and Gandhiji finally suspended the movement on 12th February 1922. Gandhiji was imprisoned, and finally Gandhiji withdraw the movement, ended the movement in 1924. At the same time, some Congress leader founded the Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party founded by the C.R. Das as a president and Motilal Nehru as secretary in 1923 Allahabad, and Swaraj Party after the failure of non-cooperation movement continued the freedom struggle. And the second most important event was the arrival of Simon Commission. So this was the Simon Commission. Simon Commission, under the chairmanship of Simon Commission, there were 7 members and there was no Indian members, and this is called the Whiteman Commission. Established in 1927, a commission arrived in India 1928. Indian oppose and go back Simon, they shouted, and Indians mainly oppose in all the parts, and main oppose of the movement in the Lahore, where the Lala Lajpat Rai led the protesters. On the order of John Sanders, the lathis were kept over the Indians, and the Lala Lajpat Rai was badly injured, and after a month he was died. Finally, Simon Commission go back to India, and in 1930 it reported to the British government. In 1928, the Calcutta session of Indian National Congress, where the Nehru Committee was formed under the chairmanship of Motilal Nehru. Nehru Committee 1928, in which the Congress or Muslim League leaders were started to quarrel, and there was no decision. That's why the Nehru Committee recommended what kind of the suggestion. British government did not accepted this. Next, this was the Rabi session on the bank of the Rabi river 1929, midnight of 31st December. Congress first time passed the resolution of total independence of Indian independence, and the next year from the 1930 Indians started to celebrate the day of independence, and which was replaced by the Constitution Day or the Republic Day by the 26 January 1950. Next, the 1930, when Gandhiji started his civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement, first Gandhiji started the salt satyagrah. Salt satyagrah of Gandhiji. Some information about the satyagrah of Gandhiji. The first satyagrah of Gandhiji was the 1917, the Champaran satyagrah. Champaran, now in Bihar district, where Gandhi led the satyagrah, and this was the problem of indigo planters. This was the successful, where the Rabindranath Tagore given the Mahatma title to Gandhiji. Second satyagrah of Gandhiji was the 1918 satyagrah. 1918, the Ahmedabad satyagrah in Gujarat, where Gandhiji led the issues of the laborers, and Gandhiji first started the fasting or भूख हड़ताल, क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है. और the third satyagrah again in 1918, Kheda district of Gujarat. There were the 3 initial satyagrah of Gandhiji. Now this is the salt satyagrah. Gandhiji started Dandi march from the Sabarmati ashram to the Dandi coast, Gujarat, 12 March 1932, 6 April 1930, and Gandhiji broke the Salt Act, and this led the civil disobedience movement. At the same time, British government organized a round table conference. Round table conference. These conferences were held at the London during the 1932-32. Gandhiji did not participate or any Congress leader in the first round table conference. In the second round table conference, before joining the second round table conference, Gandhiji made a Gandhi-Irvine pact with the Lord Irvine, the contemporary Governor General, 1931. This was the Gandhi-Irvine pact. Under the pact, Gandhiji joined the second round table conference in 1931, and the third round table conference did not join the Congress, so round table conference was held. At the end of third round table conference, British Prime Minister Macdonald presented his Macdonald Communal Award, through which the scheduled caste were given the separate reservation, and this was an effort to break the Indian society. That's why Gandhiji started fasting at the Pune jail, and where Gandhi and Ambedkar made the Gandhi Ambedkar Pact. This was the Gandhi Ambedkar Pact, 24 September 1932, where the communal award was cancelled and Dalit rejected to accept the separate communal award. During the Second World War, there was a day of deliverance, Mukti Divas. The day of deliverance, Mukti Divas, 22nd December 1939, when the Gandhiji ordered to the Congress government to resign from the British systems on the 15th November 1939, and this incident celebrated by the Muslim League as a day of deliverance. And the next is 1940, this was the August offer. 1940, the British government through the contemporary Governor General Lord Linlithgow presented the August offer, through which first time Indians was given right to make their Indian constitution. Government accepted the demand of Indian constitution, and Gandhiji started against the August offer. This was the individual satyagraha by Gandhiji in 1940 October, and Gandhiji made the first satyagrahi Vinoba Bhave, who started this movement from the Bardha, Maharashtra. Jawaharlal Nehru was the second satyagrahi, Brahmdutt was the second satyagrahi, and British government sent a member under the Stafford Cripps. This is called the Cripps Mission. So Cripps Mission arrived in India 1942, and Cripps Mission again suggested Indian to support the Britishers in the Second World War, and we will provide the Swaraj after the war, and India shall have their own constitution. But the Gandhiji rejected the proposals of the Cripps Mission, and Gandhiji called these proposals as the post-dated check. Finally, Gandhiji started the Quit India movement. The Quit India movement, Gandhiji started on 8th August 1942. Gandhiji passed the resolution for the movement on 14th July 1942 at the Bardha, Maharashtra. Again the resolution was passed from the Gwalior Tank Maidan of Bombay, 8th August 1942. So then Quit India movement launched Gandhiji 8 August 1942 from the Gwalior Tank Maidan, where Gandhiji shouted a slogan, "Do or die." British government started Operation Zero Hour. Most of leaders were arrested during the night. That's why the movement became the leaderless, and finally the movement was failed. This was the next effort of the British government, the Wavell Plan. Through the Wavell Plan in 1945, contemporary Governor General Lord Wavell presented a proposal of the interim government, including the 14 member, in which 5 members from Congress, 5 from the Muslim League. But the both Muslim League and Congress rejected the proposal, and Maulana Abul Kalam Azad said the Wavell Plan was a watershed of the India. Then the Deputy Prime Minister changed in the Britain, and now this was the Clement Attlee, the Prime Minister of Labour Party, and who declared announcement about the India, and who sent a mission in India. This was the Cabinet Mission. Cabinet Mission arrived in India March 1946. The Cabinet Mission first made the India's first interim government in 1946, 2nd September. Jawaharlal Nehru became the Vice President of interim government. Initially Muslim League did not join. Finally 5 members of Muslim League were joined Lord Babel, Governor General, was the president of the interim government. Or second, the cabinet mission held the election of Constituent Assembly July 1946, and the formation of Indian Constitution was started by the Constituent Assembly. Or the last effort made by the British government, this was the Mountbatten Plan. Mountbatten was the last Governor General sent by the British government March 1947, and Mountbatten made his proposal. This is called the Dickiewood Plan, or the 3rd June 1947, and through the Mountbatten Plan, India was partitioned in India and Pakistan, and India and Pakistan given the independence. 14th August 1947 given to the Pakistan, and 15th August 1947 to the India. So this was the independence of India, and now India completed its constitution and implemented the constitutional provision under which Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first president, elected president. Before the Dr. Rajendra Prasad, this was the Rajagopalachari as a Governor General. Before the Rajagopalachari, this was the Mountbatten. Thank you.